What if I told you one of the most important goals in competitive international Rocket League history was about to be scored? There have been millions of goals scored throughout the years of a Rocket League Championship Series, but none nearly as influential as this one. But what does that look like? Well, let's see.
With Fatira in midfield, Jan intercepts, Jan wins the challenge, but Fatira helps! He keeps it away! Moist did not let this drop earlier on!
Wait. I think we need a little bit of backstory for this goal first. I mean, you didn't think I'd really just show you the video without explaining it first, did you? There's got to be some context behind the goal itself and why exactly it was so big and influential to the esport. So let's take a look at the RLCS from top to bottom to understand its format and history to help contextualize the magnitude of this goal. The RLCS is the competitive esports league, which is currently in its 12th season, for the game Rocket League, a game that emulates football and hockey while incorporating rocket-powered cars in which players play on teams of 2 or 3 to try to score more goals than their opponents in a 5-minute game. The RLCS runs year-round with a typical start date in October and ending with the World Championships in early to mid-August. Throughout the year, there are several small-scale tournaments that serve as the seeding method for the eventual World Championships. There are also some tournaments called majors, but we'll get to these in a second. So, these tournaments, who plays in them? Well, since 2021, there are 7 regions all running concurrently with one another. Europe, North America, South America, Oceania, Middle East and North Africa, also called MENA, Asia Pacific, and Sub-Saharan Africa. But up until 2021, the majority of teams that were ever invited to international competitions were from Europe and North America. This is because these 2 regions were where many of the best players in the world were either from or migrated to because of their skill level in an attempt to better their playing career and their lives. But with the skill gap between regions shrinking every day, on September 15, 2021, the RLCS announced that 4 new regions were being added to the competitive scene and that representatives of each region will be playing in seasonal, international, major tournaments against the other best teams around the world. This announcement opened various new avenues for players, teams, organizations, content creators, and fans from these regions to explore and gave teams which had previously been denied access to international competition an opportunity to prove that they were more than ready to compete with the top dogs, and they did not disappoint. A couple prominent examples of teams who showed up ready to play immediately at the Fall Major in Stockholm, Sweden in December 2021 were Sandrock Gaming, Renegades, and Furia Esports. 3 teams from 3 different regions that showed up and proved that they deserved a seat at the table. Throughout the subsequent winter split, a new team popped up on everyone's radar, Team Queso, a team from Europe that no one had even heard of prior to the beginning of the winter split. Popularity or not, Queso did not care because they were gaining ground on Europe's top teams. Following a spectacular performance during the Winter Major in Los Angeles in March 2022, where they placed 2nd out of 16 teams, Team Queso was signed by Moist Esports, a prominent esports organization within the scene and a life-changing experience for each of the players involved. The Spring Major in London in June 2022 is where the international scene really started to heat up. A familiar name from Sweden was ready to put their foot down and be the first team from outside of North America or Europe to win a major RLCS event, Team Falcons, formerly known as Sandrock Gaming. However, another team which also underwent a name change was standing in their path to glory, and that team was Moist Esports. The 2 met in the grand final of the tournament, with Moist Esports forcing a bracket reset in which they dominantly won with a 4-0 sweep. The plan for the RLCS is to host an annual celebration of the best players and teams in the world with the RLCS World Championships. The event runs for 10 days and is broken down into a qualifying round and main event. The event in 2022 was hosted by Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. Just 24 of the original thousands of international teams made the cut for the World Championships, with 1 team in particular coming into the event on a hot streak of non-RLCS sanctioned tournament wins against many of the other best teams in the world, Furia Esports. After a shaky start leading into Championship Sunday, their first match of the day was versus none other than Moist Esports, the juggernaut squad out of Europe that rose to fame seemingly out of nowhere. In the eyes of many, this was a clear victory for Moist, but then Furia did this in Game 7 in front of a sold-out Dickies Arena and millions watching at home.
Not let this drop earlier on. Now they're up against it. Furia! Have they done it? 2 seconds! 2 seconds is all they need!
This goal will go down as one of the most memorable and influential goals in RLCS history because of its implications of sport at the global level. Not because it brought prestige to a team or because it broke the heart of the others, but because it is proof that competition is universal when the playing field is level. As contradictory as it may sound, competition is a good thing. It helps us continue to push the envelope in all aspects of life. But competition is only as good as the parameters in which it is established. When the playing field is level, the competitive spirit and desire to win shines through more than anything else.